Hello and welcome back to the UMR International. We are back with race 14 at Canada. Now Moo is currently leading, Shady in second and Were dropping to third, just hanging into the top three at the moment after that last race. I see there's some discussion going on, some confusion around the way the scoring works for the team standings because the numbers obviously are lower than what the points would add up to across a team. No intro music. I made sure it was especially quiet this time. It's been summed up quite well in the chat already, but I will quickly go through it as well. So, because we have teams that are varied in size, the biggest teams at the moment being teams of 3. Everyone else gets ghosts that fill in the extra slots. So it's worked out on an average across the team, which is why the number will look lower than your total points instead of totaling the points up. So for a team with a full amount of members, it will be their total points divided by the 3 of them. That works out the average team points. For the ghosts, they'll be scoring mid-table points, which is the total points up for grabs halved. So they'll be scored by the average amount of points for a ghost every race. So they're included into that average for the teams that are smaller than 3. So in some ways you can view it as it's good to have a full team of actual racers if you're all doing quite well, because then you don't have a ghost pulling that down to an average. But then if your team's doing awful, having a ghost actually boosts your team score up. So there's 2 ways of looking at it. If you've got a dominant team of 3, then great, you're going to do better than a team of 2 that's doing really well but has a ghost that's always pulling an average score. Or average points. I think that's the best way to put it. Getting quite tired of the intro jokes, have to keep it up now. Yep. You've committed to the bit. You got to do it all the way down to the end. But yes, we are at Marble GP Canada, so let's head over to the track. So here we are. Canada. Let's get everyone into their starting positions. So we have Azure, Boer, Eggbot and Superboss on the front row. Alfonso, Snorker, Shady and Demon on the back row. You will not remember this one. This one has not been in a previous one. And yes, this is Cheese's home track. Unfortunately, Cheese can't make it to many of the streams due to timings. Obviously, Canada being a very different time zone. So a bit unfortunate. It is tricky with all the time zones. I know it's been mentioned before. We have people from all over the world watching these, which is pretty crazy actually. But it does make it very hard to plan timings for streams. Which is one unfortunate side effect of that. But let's do predictions before we take a look around the track. How many DNFs? 2 minutes to get those in. 8 laps, yes. Now obviously there has been changes to the ladders, so that's many. It shouldn't be. Well, I guess we're about to see whether I've done a slight miscalculation on one of the tracks. But we have a split section at the start. Not sure which one's going to be the quicker route here. Maybe they're both the same. We'll find out. Or Iceman will tell us. Then we have a weaving section down to a sharp turn into a bowl. Dropping down and going up to a ladder entry and up an elevator into another split section. This one looking to be the same on both sides. Quite similar in length, there you go. Big half pipe coming around to yet another one. Another elevator, sharp turn, going into a bowl yet again. Sweeping around a few tight turns, so bit of a complex track, quite a few tight turns to navigate around this one. And then another elevator there, some sweeping bends, a couple more sharp turns, and down to the start finish straight. Yeah, maybe I did a miscalculation on the amount of laps for this, so this could be a long one. So I can imagine when the ladders were ladders, this would have taken quite a while. Maybe I accidentally doubled the amount of laps. But hey, guess we'll find out. So let's get the time going, get the start lights counting down, and they're off. I'll try not to slow this one down too much then, if this could be a bit of a longer race. Doesn't look like we need to slow it down much anyway. The flow seems pretty smooth and easy to follow. Forgot to predict. That's terrible stuff. Those precious eggs. So Eggbot taking an early lead. Demon behind Boy with a great line there. Unfortunately can't quite make the lunge. B tucking in behind. And Boy with a collision with Eggbot in the bowl. But Weep gets the drop down first. Fluids following. And then Eggbot heading to the first ladder. Demon getting blocked by Eggbot and Boer there, having some trouble getting onto it. We have Weep and Fluids up at the front, going around the half pipe. Big rollback for Weep, going to block Fluids from getting on though. That is true, your region will not allow you to win any eggs. It is outrageous. Iceman with a lot of speed there, getting very close to the edge. Makes it around Pesky Bird, will be joined side by side. Eggbot getting bullied about here. Cheese makes it past. And into the next bowl. Got a few different lines going on here. Shady carrying a lot of speed into the bowl. Is going to push B out slightly. B's going to fight back. Some pushing, some barging going on. Superboss is going to gain a lot there, going from 13th up to 6th behind Azur. And Move falling down places. Not a great start for Moo. Currently leading in the standings. So yeah, some places do consider predictions, and I'm so used to calling them eggs. What are they? Steam points, channel points. That's what they're called. Channel points predicting gambling, so they don't allow it. So you can still do the prediction as long as there's nothing on the line, so it's not classed as gambling. So Fluids leading, Weep in second. It's quite the gap back to third, and then everyone very close together here. Cheese in third, Azur fourth. Oh boy, with a good lunge there up into fourth. And I see the hydrate as well. And my lid is on my drink. There we go. So coming out of the split section. Azur with some good speed there, closing in. Onboard goes for a lunge but can't quite make it. Eggbot goes in for a different line. Going to make contact with Boer. Superboss going to just cut in there with a great entry. Eggbot keeping Boer wide. And then Jimmy's going to cut in as well. That's going to be a big time loss for Boer. Drops down to 8th. So a bit of chaos in the bowl. That was a bad landing for Weep. Hard-earned eggs. Hard-earned from watching and supporting. Of course, always open to new ideas to do with the eggs, the channel points. Obviously, there's not too many things I can do with it with the marble racing that isn't too distracting or takes away from the race. It was discussed that at some point we may have a spin-off season, a side season. Still don't know what we're referring to these. Off-seasons, maybe? An off-season that's related to channel points. Kind of like a pay-to-win. Thinking about how that could work. The best way to lay that out. I don't think it'd be that straightforward to do. But it could be quite an interesting idea. So we're making some good time through that section. Is now right behind Superboss, running a bit slow after the contact though. Got Fluids, Eggbot going for a lunge up the inside of Cheese to take that position. Going for a lunge up the inside of Fluids as well, makes it work. Great move by Eggbot, that actually pushes Fluids back. And Fluids will drop another 2 positions to Demon and Cheese. Does manage to hold off Azure. And then getting payback, getting onto the ladder entry in front of Demon and Cheese to reclaim 2 of those positions. Now there's a battle going on for second here. Boer goes for the lunge up the inside, makes it work. Ups in front of Superboss. And Superboss returns on the next corner, doing the same back to Boer. And Boer with a bit of a slow line. I think a little bit more exit speed. Not much though. Into the split section. Fluid's the only one going the wider route. And as you can see, both sides being very similar. Sounds like a Superman movie. Superboss. The boss of steel. The ball of steel. Oh boy, just managing to get onto the ladder in time there. There's quite the battle going on. There's a bad landing by Boer. It's going to cost quite a bit of time. Eggbot's going to break away, chasing down Superboss. Trouble on the ladder. Great hop by Boer. Not letting these ladder entries stop them yet. Yes, a rare epic Boer moment with the ladder. Little shunt on Weep, try and give Weep a bit more speed. Make them last longer in the bowl. Demon's going to give Eggbot a nudge. Weep dropping down first though. We're dropping down second, is going to be in front of Superboss on the exit. And then we have Demon, Eggbot, and Azure. Followed by Fluids, who has the fastest lap. And then B getting ahead of Cheese. Pesky Bear's going to drop in behind Cheese. So there's quite a battle going on between Boer and Superboss here. Trading positions. That's a very good question. So I don't know the answer to that either. So going on to lap 4. Weak bleeding, Superboss close second, Boer a close third. The gap is closing. Boer with a good line is going to run around the outside, tuck in behind Superboss. And Weep with a slight wall clip will lose some speed. Boer with a bit of a rough line there will be slow dropping into the bowl, but that could be good. Less speed can sometimes result in a quicker drop down the middle. But it looks like the line's still fairly similar. But it actually ended up being a worse line. Going to lose a bit of time there for Boer. And there's the drop demon with a great line. The drop down just behind. Oh, but a bounce out of the ladder entry. Difficulties for Demon and Fluids. Fluids gets going, but Demon's still stuck. Cannot make it on. There we go, finally making it on. A big time loss. And Moo trailing behind massively. This is going to be really costly in the standings. I think we are likely to see Moo getting knocked down from that #1 position following this race. Was your first track in the office map, so just wanted to have the track there. That's fair. That's fair. So Weep dropping down. We're trying to go defensive against Superboss, and it works. Boer's going to drop down second. Superboss. Bluge is being blocked out by Azur, means Eggbot's going to drop down ahead. So does Azur. Bluge's going to lose a bit of time here and drop a couple of positions. We'll have to set up a 6th coming out of there. Followed by Demon. Everyone else going around the bowl here. Pesky Bird dropping in front of Cheese and Alfonso. And Snorker, Jimmy and Iceman side by side. And then Shady and Moo still in the bowl. Superboss chasing Boer down to get that position back. This fight might go all the way to the end. But who will come out on top? Good speed by Superboss, but it doesn't work. Has to fall back behind again. Now opting for different sides. We'll see if there's any difference here. Superboss going a bit slower into it. So Boer will have the advantage on pace. It looks like that inside line is a little bit quicker as Superboss making it through with really good exit speed from that line. Will go back up into second. And a really good drop down into the bowl is going to allow Superboss to break away from Boer. Eggbot's going to get past as well. Boer having some difficulties in the bowl. Spending a bit too much time here. Azur lining up for a good drop as well. And Boer's going to drop to 5th. Fluids having some trouble as well. Demon with another good drop down. Drops down just ahead of Fluids. Balls of Steel all having a bit of trouble with the bowl here. There we go, B dropping through. There's some bumping going on here. See Mood just coming into the bowl now. Superboss is going to drop down. We have a new race leader. Weep now in second. A bad exit for Weep. The bowls are being very vicious in this race. Big hit on the wall for Superboss, going to lose some time. But a big hit for Weep as well. We now have B in third, Eggbot in fourth, Azure in fifth. Moo has moved up from last into 15th. Snorker is now in 16th. I think the laps are definitely miscalculated. I have a feeling it's probably meant to be 4 laps with the ladders in place. Definitely not 8. The Weep has reclaimed the lead. But Superboss knows which side is quicker here. The rough exit for Superboss is going to be slow, really slow exit. Will carry more speed into this section. And get a better line, and there we go. Gonna cut in front and block Weep. See what happens with the drop down here. Superboss dropping down first. Azure dropping down in front of B. B with the fastest lap. Let's try and pick up an extra point. Iceman looks like they have a good line here. Straight down. Getting past Eggbot. So back around to the front. Quite a big gap here. Everyone getting very spread out. It is Superboss leading. Some contact there in the bowl between Superboss and Weep. Azure now in second. Weep in third. Starting to fall off a bit later into this race. So Superboss dropping down on the move. Eggbot's going to give Iceman a nudge. That's not going to be great for Iceman. Around they go. We're dropping through. Let's head up to the leaders here. See what happens at this ladder entry. And Azure is going to get in front of Superboss with a great entry. And will take the lead. Both Weep and B getting big rollbacks. Could be a chance for Boer. Boer not quite making it in time. But is closing that gap. And the battle is now for first. Going on to lap 7. Superboss just waiting for a chance, and there is the opportunity. Azure hitting the wall hard. Superboss will go for the overtake, both neck and neck here, going onto two different sides of the track. Now this should be Superboss's line with this exit. Building up speed, and there we go. Superboss flying into first. But Azur with some great speed on that line. Get the exit into the bowl. Superboss trying to make contact to try and slow Azur down, but it's not going to be enough. Cannot quite make that contact. Gets clipped by Weep. Buer's going to collide with Weep, and that's going to be big for Buer. But the three of them dropping down near enough at the same time. Superboss blocking Weep on the ladder entry. And Buer will be behind in fourth. Weep with some good speed, tucking in behind Superboss. Might be using each other to get some pace into this half pipe. Not a great landing though, that momentum was lost. Azur with a perfect entry. Superboss as well, Weep not so much. So the top four quite close together now. Very close there, Buer and Azur nearly coming into contact. And Snork has actually climbed their way up to 12th. Blues is now in last. Moose still in 15th. Eggbot's dropped quite a few places. Eggbot in 13th, Cheese in 14th. Big hit on the wall for Wheat. Buer tries to go around the outside, but not enough pace to do it. But good exit speed here. We'll go up the inside of the next corner, and that puts Buer ahead of Weep. Now Azur making it onto the elevator ahead of Superboss. Oh, Buer with a rollback means Weep's going to come through and snipe it. Buer having some issues. It is a classic Buer moment going on here. Does make it on before Iceman and B join that party there. And we are heading onto the final lap of the race. Azur leading, Superboss second, Weep in third. Then we have a bit of a gap from the top three. Buer in fourth, B moving up to fifth in front of Iceman in sixth. So good speed by Azur heading into the bowl, pulling away from Superboss a bit now. But the entry here is going to be key, and Azur with a great drop down. That may have sealed the win, just that moment there. And Weep's going to get past Superboss. Iceman with good speed goes for the lunge, doesn't quite make it in front of Buer, but gets an instant drop down. An incredible play by Iceman. That is the difference maker. So we can see the gap now. We also see Alfonso making a lunge in front of Demon in the background. Those two battling it out. And Snorker dropping down to 15th. Moo climbing up to 12th. Cheese made up to 10th. A lot of position changing going on further back. And as I say that, we see Cheese dropping to 13th there. There's a lot happening. But Wheat is going to go back up into the lead, trying to make a comeback from the beginning. Superboss in second, Azur down to third. Got Iceman in fourth, Buer in fifth, B in sixth. Still holding the fastest lap for that extra point as well. Oh, that's a big rollback for Weep. Does make our Superboss getting pulled off by Azur. Azur and Weep now very close together as we come into the final section of the race. It's going to be down to the wire here. Azur with a bit more pace into the hairpin right on the tail of Weep right now. Very close. Can't quite make the lunge. I think that's going to be it. Coming up to the line, Weep is going to be leading, and across the line, Weep takes the win. Azur very close behind. Superboss coming across in third. B has made it past Boer. Looking to pick up some extra points. And coming around the final section. Final corner, B will take fourth and the fastest lap. Boer will take fifth. Iceman has dropped a couple of positions. Teammate Jimmy now in front. Jimmy will take 6th. Iceman 7th. Demon just in front of Shady, then Snorker in 10th. Then we have Pesky Bird, Alfonso, Moo, Cheese, Eggbot, and then Bludes. Yeah, rough ending for Iceman. 4th to 7th on the final ladder. But our winner, Weep. Congratulations to Weep on the win. Very good race. It's very close up the front between the top 3. A lot of back and forth going on. But Weep with a very, very good race. So there we go. 0 DNFs. Let's choose that prediction. And the 2 people that predicted were both correct. So well done, Iceman and Snorker, on those correct predictions. Enjoy getting your eggs back. But now I'm going to go and put these results over on the leaderboard. And I'll be back in just a minute with the updated standings. Alright, the results have been entered, so let's head over to the standings. And it has taken me this long to realise that Weep's marble name is the same name as the last season, which isn't meant to be correct for this season, because Weep did enter under a slightly different name, which is the name that's on the standings. It's only taken me until now to realise it doesn't match the name in the race. Weep Go Burr was Weep's marble name from the last season. It should be Weep's favourite marble for this season. Thankfully not a major thing, but there is a difference. You did notice, and nobody told me. Terrible. Well, I can get that sorted. But after that race, I know we're basically over this season anyway. After that race, Moo is still leading, but tied with Shady with 293 points. Boer in third, still holding on to top 3 with 290 points. Superboss now in 4th with 269. Pesky Bird in 5th with 263. Cheese in 6th with 255. Jimmy in 7th, tied with Iceman with 247. Azur in 9th with 243. And Demon in 10th with 233. Then we have Eggbot, Alfonso, Snorker, Weep, B, and Bludes. We thought we had 2 different names entered in the Google form. No, so I'll probably have to double check, but it should be correct, because on all of my spreadsheet says that that's what they put down as their marble name. And I think when I was doing the marble changes and checking all the teams, I must have just not realised that I needed to change Weep's name in the game, because I always just read it as Weep. So I just did not notice. I know, it's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Well, in the team standings, Eternal Darkness are winning with 259, 1 point ahead of Tutti Frutti, who have 258. Then Ultraviolet's in third with 256, Green Slushy is in fourth with 254, and Dogeballs in fifth with 253. And then we have the Icebreakers, Grandmasters, Snowballs, Marble Minions, and of course the Balls of Steel, who are currently 15th and 16th. And third. But two members, 15th and 16th. So a bit rough for the Balls of Steel. Were doing a lot of the carrying of the team this season. Bit of a struggle for the other two. Been a rough season for them. If everything goes completely perfectly, you can win the season by 4 points. You're close to the end, but there is still a chance. The points are still pretty close together. I'm sure we're getting to the point that we'll start getting statistics from Iceman to see who's still in the runnings. Maybe for the next race, maybe for the USA race, we might get some insight. If it's a bit too early, I think a lot of people are still at least in the runnings. B and Fluids, I'm not too sure about. Might be a bit out of reach now. What's the score for a P16 and for a race win? So the scoring can be found in points and prizes on the Discord, and it is, just scroll up to where I last posted it because it hasn't changed for a couple of seasons. First place is 40 points, 16th is 5. Of course, the points go all the way down to 20th, but we currently don't have 20. So 40 points for a win, 6 points for a 5 points for a 16th. But everyone's still in contention. There you go. So it is still all to play for, with 4 races to go. But that is going to be it for this one. Yeah, for those further down, definitely have to put in some hard work and probably a fair bit of luck as well to have a chance of winning. But I'll do it for this one. We'll be back next week with our final 4 races. So we've got those to look forward to, and then we will have our world's fastest marble racer. But that will do it for now. So, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all in the next one.